folks, welcome. I'm Tim Collins. I'm the instructor for your EN99 Basics Composition course. I wanted to provide a brief video instructions for the first essay. And so the first essay is a description or illustration essay. I have instructions on Moodle, which I'll show you right now. Why don't I just jump right into it without any unnecessary preambles here. So first of all, let's look at the syllabus just to see what we're looking at. This is the course calendar on our syllabus, page 5 it begins on. You'll notice that by the end of the day on Friday the 4th, you should have a rough draft of the description essay in, and then you're going to do a peer review. You're going to read each other's essays and give each other feedback. During this time, I'm also going to give you feedback. And then the final draft that should be revised, edited carefully, very polished, a very polished final draft will be due by the end of the day, Friday, September 11th. So those are the due dates there. You can find that on your course calendar in the syllabus, page 5. Let's jump over to Moodle so I can show you where these different things will be submitted and where you can find further instructions. So we've got our Moodle page here. You go down to week 1 and you'll find some of these things here. So the description essay assignment instructions with the grading rubric. You want to open this file up here, and below it you'll notice there's a student example. A real TroCare student wrote that example. It's pretty good quality. Some of you might do better. But anyway, let me just jump back here. So what I'm looking at here is this file, description essay assignment instructions with grading rubric. And this is what that file will look like here. So I'm not going to read the whole thing beginning to end. I'm going to kind of give you the highlights. You can read it on your own time. So you have a first draft. It's due Friday the 4th. That needs to be at least 500 words for full credit. That's roughly 2 pages double-spaced. The final draft will be roughly 3 pages double-spaced. That's about 750 words. You should use the basic MLA format setup of the paper. I have the video on Moodle that I assigned. It shows you how to do the basic setup. The basic setup of MLA papers, not extremely difficult. MLA gets to be difficult when you're doing citations. There's no citations here. It's a personal essay. So follow the MLA format, and that means 1-inch margins, double space, 12-point font, Times New Roman, and so forth. Okay. So the assignment is a description or illustration essay. So you all know what it means to describe. You try to paint a picture in your reader's mind so that they can envision a certain person, place, or thing. And so you really want to get into details and describe that thing in such a way that someone can picture it in their head. You all know what that is. Illustration, very similar. Illustration is kind of like when you describe or explain an idea rather than a person, place, or thing. And that's kind of what illustration is. You make a statement and then you explain it with examples, essentially. So they're very similar. But I wanted to give you the option between the two so that you can all hopefully find an idea that's helpful to you because you are interested in it, and because if you choose something you're interested in, you're going to have an easier time coming up with ideas. And so coming up with ideas is one of the more difficult things about writing, and we're going to talk about that a lot. You're going to practice that, a lot this semester. Okay. So the assignment, you're going to choose either description or illustration, and you can choose a topic that's interesting to you. I just ask, if you don't choose one of the prompts I have on here, totally fine. Just send me a quick email. I've already had a couple people ask me. Send me a quick email. I'll pretty much just say, yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, it's important that you choose one topic clearly, number one, and number two, it's important to the greatest degree possible to narrow the idea down to something very specific. And you're going to find this throughout your college career writing essays. Professors don't want you to write about a gigantic idea. They want you to choose like pretty much the smallest topic you can, and they want you to go into as much depth with that idea as possible. And that's you're going to hear a lot of that as your college career goes along. And so we want to try to start practicing that here and choose the most focused topic you can and describe it or illustrate it in as much detail as you can. Okay, so that's that. Next thing is, so what are the parts of a strong essay? I kind of outline them here for you. And these are the things I'm looking for in your final drafts, and I'll be grading you on. So the first thing about writing is that you need a thesis. A thesis is a controlling idea. It's kind of your main idea. It tells your reader what the heck it is you're writing about. Every paper you write in college, that's the most important thing. Your professor, your audience, they always need to know what it is you're talking about, and you need to make that as clear as could possibly be. The introduction, you start with an introduction. In your e-textbook, you might take a look at pages 240 to 242. They have very specific tips on writing good introductions there. I'm not going to go any further into that now. And so after your introduction, you have your body paragraphs, and these are the paragraphs that are explaining your thesis in more detail with supporting ideas. And so for, a 3-page paper, you should have at least 3 or 4 body paragraphs with supporting ideas directly related to your thesis. Topic sentences. Topic sentences are the first sentence within each body paragraph. They tell your reader what that paragraph is going to be about, and it should be clear to the reader how that topic sentence relates back to your thesis statement so that you have kind of unity within the whole essay. And finally, you have your conclusion. Again, check your e-textbook for tips on writing conclusions, pages 245 to 246. What you don't want to do, and some students are told this in high school, that you just copy and paste your introduction, you put in your conclusion. Like, that's not really college level writing. What you want to do is you want to summarize what you've said, but you also want to reflect on what you've said in your conclusion. You want to say something a little bit more than just what you already have said, because really, we're all busy. Nobody has time to read the same thing twice, right? So that means we're talking about at least 5 paragraphs. You can have as many paragraphs as you want, but 3 pages, at least 5 paragraphs, a thesis, and so forth. Those are the things I'm looking for. And I'm looking to see that you've put some work into revising and editing to make it as polished and as clear as possible. Okay, and so here I just described what I just described. Description and illustrative writing, what are they? Okay, you can read that yourself. Okay, so I have some prompts here. And so for description essay, and remember, you can choose your own. You just need to send me an email and run it by me so I can give you the thumbs up. So possible things you could write about. A person, place, or thing that's important to you. You could write about Trocair's campus. It's a very confusing campus for such a small campus. It could be a good topic for a description essay. Your neighborhood or another neighborhood. That would be interesting to me. Your favorite place or any other place. Your job, a past job, a dream job. Your favorite or least favorite person or any other person. So people are good to describe. That's what literature, that's one of the primary things, literature does, describing people. Okay, so those are description essay. If you want to do that, you'll choose one of those topics. Illustration essay. Here's some prompts. A belief you feel strongly about, and so you can tell me, I believe this. Here are the reasons why I believe it. That's pretty good. What motivated you to enroll in college? You can make a thesis statement. I chose to enroll in college because of this. And then you could, go through the essay and explain that in more detail. Number 3, what are the effects of one modern technology? Do the benefits outweigh the drawbacks? You all have plenty of experience with that. That'd be a great one to do. Discuss drug or alcohol addiction does not only happen to good people. So you could agree with that or disagree with it, and then give me reasons why to illustrate why you believe what you believe. And finally, the last one, the best music contains important social or political messages. Might be my favorite one. You don't have to do it, but I love music personally. I think that'd be super interesting to write about. And so you'd say, do you agree with that? Do you disagree with it? why. Why do you agree? Why do you disagree? Give me some reasons why. Maybe come up with some cool examples. Okay. So, to recap, you're going to choose either descriptive or illustrative. And whichever one you choose, you're going to try to choose one topic, one prompt, or one topic of your own. And you're going to try to make that as focused, as narrow as you can, and write a clear 3-page essay on it. So I hope that's clear. Okay, and then we get to purpose. And so, okay, why would I have you write a description or illustrative essay? Really, these are kind of like just fundamental, they call them methods of development. They're just things you can do with writing. And so no matter what type of writer one might be, people do description, they do illustration. So, for example, journalists describe events, scientists describe experiments, and so on. Like nurses, okay, you're going to describe your patient's reported symptoms and this kind of thing. It goes on and on and on. No matter what profession one might have, people are describing things, or people are illustrating things. There's just kind of like bread and butter, meat and potatoes methods of development that all professions, all fields use in one way or another. So that's why we're doing it. It's good practice. You're going to be definitely using it in the future. Okay, and the grading rubric is down here. I'm not going to read them all, but why don't I just read, this is what I'm looking for in an A paper, and I'll give A's to the papers that do all these things. Okay, the topic is effectively narrowed and clearly stated. So try to write about something small and explain it in great detail. And make sure your thesis is clear. Paragraphs are well organized and the essay communicates ideas very clearly. Every paragraph should have one main idea. And when you're done with that idea, you should start a new paragraph. You should have at least 5 paragraphs total. Essay was fixed to revise all awkward sentences, and it was edited to remove all grammatical errors and sentence structure problems. We haven't talked a lot about grammar yet, but the main thing is this. You know, your sentences are not awkward. You know that your grammar is okay. If you're communicating ideas clearly, this is why we have grammar rules. The rules give us guidelines on how to communicate clearly. So this is why grammar matters and why we're going to talk a little bit about grammar. It's all just about communicating clearly. That's what I'm looking for. And to get an A paper, you need to have at least 750 words. One further thing I'll say, there's no limit to how much you can write. And so it's up to you. 750 words is the minimum requirement. I'm not going to ask you to do more than that. But don't feel limited by that. If you have a lot of ideas, a lot of my students really find that they actually enjoy writing, especially when they think of topics that they find interesting. So don't feel like you're limited to 750 words. There's no maximum. I want you to do as much practice in this class writing as possible. So if you got a bunch of ideas and you keep typing and typing, keep going, keep going. I'll read it. I'll grade it. That's totally cool with me. But you're only required to do 750 words. And then, the other grades will not do quite as well on some or all of those things. Okay, so that's it. I want to wrap this up to keep it short. So I'm going to leave it there. If you have questions, please let me know. Let's just take one quick final look at the syllabus, just to look at those due dates again. So the rough draft, at least 500 words by the end of the day, Friday the 4th of September. And then the final draft will be due by the end of the day on Friday, September 11th. Should be at least 3 double-spaced pages. Okay, reach out to me if you have questions, and also reach out to me if you have a topic you want to run by me. Okay, good luck with the first week. I will be in touch very shortly.